All right, so Adam, let me give a little context to the audience first about how I came across finding you, finding your company, and then I'd love to get a little background on you. I am a huge fan of My First Million podcast, and I'm sure you've been told, like Sam Parr and Sean.
Have you heard about MyBodyTutor, Andrew?
No.
Very simple. And every day, my coach, her name's Heather, calls me and says, "What are you going to eat today?" And I tell her, and she educates me on why I made a good or bad decision. And we like work backwards from whichever goal I want. It's a 5-minute phone call. That's been the best tool I've ever used.
They've mentioned you on the podcast multiple times. And finally, the last time they said it, which was recently, I was like, I got to figure out what this thing is. So I Google MyBodyTutor, I find your website, I find the services that you guys offer. And it gets my brain thinking because I'm a physical therapist, previously a strength and conditioning specialist, kinesiologist. I love fitness, I love health. And at my stage in life, I'm 48 right now. I've got 4 boys at home, my wife, we're active, we love to work out. But I'm that guy that's run the gamut. I did like low fat, high fiber, I did vegetarian, I did vegan, I did paleo, I did carnivore. Everything worked for me for a while. But none of it was really like sustainable longer term. And so for me, with my patients, my caseload, I focus on treating patients after total knee replacement. A lot of them are battling lifestyle disease and conditions more than orthopedic problems. And so I was like, okay, the perfect storm here. I've got somebody who has built a business around accountability and nutrition. I've got, resources available that can help my clients. And of course, that means other physical therapy clients. And so I just have to reach out to you. And what I did before we started recording, you were telling me how you found me. I actually intentionally tagged you in a YouTube comment because I wanted, if you guys were looking at your YouTube channel, I wanted you to get some sort of notification. I guess it didn't come through because I really wanted to interview you. Now you're here. I appreciate you taking the time. So for the audience, if you can just give us a little bit of background on you, where you came from, kind of how you got started with MyBodyTutor, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. My name is Adam Gilbert. I'm the founder of MyBodyTutor. I started it in 2007, and health and fitness has always been a big passion of mine. What spurred it really was witnessing my father's health decline at an early age. So when I was in 7th grade, he had a heart attack. Me and my sister actually drove him to the hospital. And then a few days later, he wound up having triple bypass surgery. And then later that year, he was actually diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Wow.
So seeing him deteriorate mentally and physically throughout the years until he passed away was obviously really hard. And, I learned early on that health is true wealth, right? Without health, nothing means anything. I've dedicated my life to helping people reach your health and fitness goals because I truly do believe and know that health is the one lever where when you improve it, everything else improves. And it's the one thing where when you don't have it, nothing else means all that much. So that's what spurred my passion. And so I was a personal trainer for years, and I was always kind of the go-to guy for health and fitness. And then I started my career, actually. I graduated college in 2005, started my career at Ernst & Young. When I was at Ernst & Young, I was the go-to guy for health and fitness. And, I studied nutrition in college and also accounting. But it was always the same story. I would kind of see clients and partners and colleagues, and they would always ask me for a plan and advice. And it was always, I love the plan you made for me, and the but was I got caught up with work, life, kids, et cetera, right? So these people, I had spoken with them, I had sat down with them, come up with a nutrition plan they felt good about, come up with an exercise plan they felt good about. But I would see them a week or two later, again, depending on client obligations, and they were never able to stick with it, right? They weren't following through. So my light bulb moment was like, wow, these people have the plan, they like the plan, but they just couldn't stick with it. So I quit my full-time job at Ernst & Young in January of 2007. Everyone thought I was absolutely crazy, including my mom. I was 2 years out of college. I had a good job. People, it was a prestigious job, I guess, even though I hated it from day one. And I quit my job and started MyBodyTutor in February 2007, and we've been at this ever since. And we built MyBodyTutor into a wonderful company. We have about 75 coaches now. And this is my life's work. I'll be doing this until the day I die. and I absolutely, eat, sleep, and breathe what I do.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, I've listened to some of your interviews that are available. You seem like that, you've always had that entrepreneurial spirit and you've always been a creator. I love it. That's exactly the way I am. I was always that kid in the neighborhood who found a way to turn work or time into money. And so, I would love to hear from your perspective. Now, you and I have never met before. We've never talked, but I know so many times we start businesses, we have this idea, we have this vision, and then as market demands change and things develop, we might have started out here and then we ended up here. How has this changed from your initial vision, what you originally started doing back when you turned in your letter of resignation to now? How has that developed?
Yeah. So, I always thought that the biggest challenge in health and fitness is a lack of consistency. And I set out to solve what I think is the biggest problem is a lack of consistency. And we do that threefold. Number one, we come up with a plan for our clients that's catered and customized to them. We help them change their mindset, psychology, and habits, just because so much of fitness success and really all success is between our ears. And then we hold them accountable on a daily basis. So the goal from day one is always, how do we help our clients stay consistent better than anyone else on the planet, right? That is my obsession, because I know if you stay consistent, you'll see results.
Yeah.
So the core offering of, devising a diet and exercise plan for our clients and then helping them stick with it through daily support and daily coaching and accountability has always been the same. The only thing that's changed is when we first started, I was actually, targeting spring breakers, kids in college who were getting ready for spring break. Because I remember when I was in college, spring break was in, March and April, and it was like, all right, everyone's got to like lose weight and, dial in because we're going to be with our shirts off in, some warm tropical place, and everyone wanted to look good. And I just remember all my friends and everyone in my school was, about that. So that was my initial kind of target market, but very quickly, the kids in college that we were marketing towards, were referring us to their older brothers and sisters and their parents.
Yeah.
And that's, that was a very quick shift. And ever since then, it's really been that, it's just, we're helping people stay consistent, right? That is the hard part. And that's what we obsess over.
Wow. I know. I always say, like, when I see a patient in the clinic, they know what to do. They have an understanding. I should eat better. I should sleep more. I should do these things. What they don't know is how to get themselves to do it. And I've always been one of those, whether I was a strength coach, personal trainer, physical therapist, I can never force somebody to do something consistently. I can make them do it when they're in front of me, but once they're gone, they're gone. And so it's finding that way to make them want to do it, want to make that change. I want to eat this food. I want to go to sleep at a reasonable time. I want to exercise. Yeah, that's where I think you guys come in. And so I would love to hear, I mean, you've been in this now since 2007, you said. How has technology changed either your business model or what you guys have been doing? Has it become easier, better, more effective? Like, what kinds of things that are different today compared to 2007, 2008?
Yeah. I mean, very quickly to your point, I mean, my thesis from day one has always been, for the most part, people know what's good for them. They know what's not good for them. The real question is, why can't they do it?
Yeah.
And answering that question is my life's work. That's what we obsess over. But it's been interesting to think about how things have changed since 2007. When I first started, in the online space, and we were always virtual, a lot of people were offering courses. Courses were very big, right? So you buy our course, we're going to teach you how to do X, Y, or Z. And from day one, we've always offered accountability, because again, we felt like, lack of knowledge is not the real issue. It's a lack of consistent action. So in the beginning, it was, we were competing against people offering courses. So it was interesting to see the shift, because a lot of those same people who were offering courses started offering accountability, because they realized these people were buying their courses, but there was no follow through, right? There was no consistent action being taken. So a lot of these people that were offering courses started gravitating towards accountability, because it wasn't the knowledge, it was implementing the knowledge. That was the hard part. So that's been one thing. When I first started, social media was not really, I mean, Facebook had, just started a few years ago. It's been interesting to see the rise of social media, and of course, all the information and sometimes, misinformation that is, shared on social media. I certainly have strong thoughts about social media. But, dealing with social media is something, that we didn't really have to deal with in the beginning. And I would say most recently, is, AI, right? And, artificial intelligence and all things like that. And, for us, we've always believed nothing changes behavior better than humans.
Yeah.
And if anything, we're leaning more towards humans, right? We're human to human coaching. We're never AI. We're not using any sort of AI. People sign up with us because they want a real human who really cares about them, who's going to champion their progress and their success, and who's going to be there with them every single day, right? That's why we get the results we do. So for us, it's the technology is there, it's changing, but I think if anything, we're doubling down on what we're really good at.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with us in the clinic. I mean, as much as AI is making certain things more efficient and taking, jobs away from other careers, I think the further it goes, the more we need that human connection. And if we learned anything during the recent pandemic, it was that humans need human to human contact. And whether it's talking to someone on the phone or seeing somebody or, anything like that, that's what we resonate with. And I find it interesting. You mentioned social media. Gary Vee was famous for saying that he believed the most influential fitness app ever created on the market was Instagram, because people would do stuff just to get the photo. And now I'm sitting here thinking about this. I'm like, I bet that had such a strong influence on food. When people are taking food pictures, they're going to eat better, and they're going to feel good about the stuff that they're eating. And when you're sharing a healthy meal, nobody wants to take a picture of McDonald's and share it on Instagram. The social media can be as good as it can be evil. So let me
Yeah.
ask you, talk to us about the programs that you guys offer. So you've mentioned accountability a couple of times. I went on the website, I looked at the different levels, but for the viewers watching, kind of where do you serve the market from the low end to the high end? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we have 3 programs ranging from $299 per month to $899 per month. And again, ultimately what we do for you is we devise a diet and exercise plan for you that's catered to you, that's customized to you, that's based on the realities of your life, that includes your non-negotiables. One of our core philosophies is we want our clients to be fit and happy, not fit and miserable.
Yeah.
So for you to never enjoy your favorite food again, that's just not sustainable, desirable, or realistic, right? But the core component is each day you're sharing what you ate in our easy to use mobile app or website. What you did for exercise, if it was an exercise day, and then every single day after, your very own coach is writing back to you with personalized feedback, suggestions, and encouragement, right? So the fact that we're in communication with you every single day, guiding you, supporting you, coaching, holding you accountable is the key. And then we have 3 different levels of service. So we have the gold plan, which is the basic plan. With that, you're getting the daily written feedback, and we get on the phone with you about once every week. Then we have our platinum plan, which is $599 a month. With that, you're getting the daily written feedback, and then you're getting 3 phone calls a week. And then we have our diamond plan, which is $899 a month. And with that, you're getting the daily written feedback plus daily phone calls. So it's really just the difference between the plans is really just the amount of phone calls you're looking for. I never try to sell someone on a more expensive plan. It's really just a matter of personal preference, what they're looking for, the type of support they're looking for, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine a better investment. Like going back to, I look at myself at this stage in the game. I just had a patient in my clinic this morning. He's 29. He's fit. He's active. He's doing all the right stuff, but he's got some orthopedic issues. And what I told him was, I said, you're 29 right now. You're managing the symptoms pretty well. It's not what we do for you today as a 29-year-old. It's what we do for you today for when you're 49 and 69 and 89, and when I look at your element in the entire picture of an optimal life, I think we need that kind of encouragement. And again, it's just so out of the ordinary to think a human is going to pick up a phone and call me to discuss these kinds of things. It's just not out there right now. And so it's refreshing to see that kind of connection. I can imagine going back to, I had a similar situation to you with my mom. My mom had developed diabetes. It was type 2 diabetes. I was finishing my kinesiology degree. We got her on a structured exercise and nutrition program. She managed the symptoms. Then, of course, fell off the wagon. I had gone to grad school. She kind of declined again. And one thing after another kind of led to, an unfortunate outcome. But I think back and I'm like, she would never just do it on her own. She needed that human connection, and to be able to connect with you guys, even if me as the adult son was to buy the membership for my mom. But there's just so many needs that I think you guys could fulfill like that. Now, my question and my original intent in the connection here was how I, as a physical therapist treating individuals in my clinic or in the patient's home, how I could build a relationship with your team so that you guys could deliver the services that you do best and I can deliver the services that I do best. Tell me a little bit about the onboarding process for a new client. Like what typically happens? New client wants to sign up with you guys. Where do they go from that initial intent?
Yeah, so they go to MyBodyTutor.com. On the top right, there's a join now link. They would sign up there for whatever plan they want. And then once they sign up, they'll get an email with a link to a questionnaire. And then based on that questionnaire, I personally pair them with one of our coaches. And then the coach reaches out to them, and then they're off to the races.
Wow.
And it's very simple. And we work with a lot of people like yourself where you can only do so much, right? And what you're doing is critical to their healing, to their progress, to their leveling up, and being pain-free and active and vibrant. But there's a lot that goes on between those sessions that, there's you don't know what's going on. And that's really where we can shine and become, I think, a wonderful complement to the type of work you're doing. And of course, as we all know, losing weight and, lowering your body fat, that just puts less pressure on your joints and all sorts of things like that, that only, again, furthers what you're trying to accomplish for your patient.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if you can't outrun poor nutrition, you need to kind of hit all of those elements. Um, you mentioned, I think you had 70, 75 coaches on the team. What kind of background do they have? What kind of education are they coming from? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so they're all certified health coaches. They come to us with extensive experience. As the founder of the company, I know we're only as good as their coaches, so we're very, very picky in who we hire. Thankfully, we're getting over like a dozen applicants a week now, people wanting to work with us. So we're very, very picky in who we hire. But yeah, they're all certified, health coaches, and have a lot of experience in helping people get from where they are to where they want to be.
Yeah. And I think I've heard you say this in one of your interviews, but obviously if a client connects with one of your coaches and they gel right from the beginning, they stay with that coach. But if there's a situation where a client connects and they're just not quite on the same page, I know in my clinic I've got different therapists. They're all amazing therapists, but there are definitely personalities that match
Sure.
better with certain clients. I imagine there's the freedom to kind of interchange and switch coaches when the time is right.
Exactly. Yep. We have, make it very easy. There's a form they can fill out in our app, and they request a new coach. It's all good. It's not a big deal. We pair them with a new coach right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then are there any kind of long-term commitments? Is it a month-to-month or an annual deal, or how does that work?
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I believe in what we do more than anything. As I said, this is my life's work. I really believe in what we do. So, there's no jumpstart fees, no cancellation fees, no long-term commitments. We really try to make it a no-brainer. And one of our goals for our clients is to work with us until they reach their goal. This way they get lifetime access to our maintenance plan for free. We truly want success stories for life. So we assume our clients will stick with it. But of course, if they have to or want to cancel for any reason, they shoot us an email and we'll take care of it. So there's no long-term commitments, no monthly contracts or anything like that.
That's awesome. And then my last question was, I know there are going to be therapists who see this interview and they're like, oh, I want to do that. Forget partnering with them. I want to be on that team. What is some of the stuff that you're looking for in potentially somebody who wants to be a coach on the MyBodyTutor team?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're looking for people with industry experience, people who have a lot of experience, people who understand behavior change, because so much of this is, behavior change work. Knowing, to me, like knowing what food is good for you and what's not good for you and things like that. To me, that's kind of the price of admission. Unfortunately, I would say a lot of nutritionists and coaches, like when it comes to fitness, all they know is like, here's what's good for you, here's what's not good for you. And again, that's not that's important, but there's so much more that goes into it, right? So there has to be a knowledge of behavior change work. People who have shown a track record of helping people get out of their own way, things like fear of success, which is surprising, but very common, fear of failure, self-sabotage. Those are the types of things we help our clients overcome. There's a lot of mental roadblocks that get in the way of success. You can give so many people the roadmap in order to achieve their goals, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on in there that needs to change first in order for them to stay consistent.
It is. It's so true. Like we get in our own way so many times. I know that when I'm working with clients that it's a sad story, but they're frustrated. They've tried so many different things. I've tried so many different things. And it's just, it gets to the point where you don't want to sign up to fail again. And that's what holds us back, me included. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make the commitment again because I know that there is the formula that's out there to get me to want to do it, to get me the results that I need. It's just having that other person on the other side that's got the experience. So I think this is a great place to kind of wrap up the segment. What is the best way if I'm talking to either a therapist who wants to connect with you guys, or I'm talking to the general population, the community who's like, yeah, that's a service I want to sign up for. What's the best way for them to reach out to the company?
Thanks. Yeah, they can, on the website, MyBodyTutor.com, you can fill out an inquiry there. You can email me directly at adam@MyBodyTutor.com. I pride myself on being available. Besides my family and kids, this is what I live for. I'm here to help. And it would be a lot of fun to talk with, people like you who are looking to complement their services. We offer a very generous kind of partnership in place where it could really be mutually beneficial. And of course, most importantly, help, the end user or your client or your patient.
Yeah.
Reach out to me.
I think it's great. I'll put links to your company down in the description of the video when I share this out. And anybody who wants to connect, I've had nothing but a positive experience so far. So I really encourage you to reach out and make that positive change for your own life. Adam, thank you so much for being here. Don't leave. I'm going to wrap up this video.